Hello again. Now we have reached the stop idea and we are continuing our dive into that idea that you care about. And we want to understand more about where the ideas actually come from and how you can shape an idea into a product or service. What does it need to have to actually become something that could be a sustainable product or service solving a problem for the people in the world? I brought you another um, put it in a nutshell statement here from Lois Weiss. Um, the only people in the world who can change things are those who can sell ideas. I really love this one because it's so true. In our lives, we have to be able to present what we do to others. Maybe you can exchange the word sell for another one because it's not about selling as such. It's about winning other people to come on board to support you in creating something that has an impact for the world. And for that, we need to be able to communicate about it, to inspire people, to connect to them so that they come on board and they become active. Here are the questions you can't escape. Why do you think your idea is what the world needs? Is there actually a problem that your idea solves? And what do you need to create that product and service and deliver it to the people in need? So this stop idea is really where you are shaping and forming and hammering this idea into something that will allow you to create a sustainable organization. Here's our iceberg. So what's below that dream idea that we want to make reality? Well, 80% of all your answers that you need to understand first to know what is that dream idea is below the waterline. It's about other products and services that are out there, your competition. Is this unique what you are creating, or are there substitutes out there? Who is that customer, that target group, that user that you are creating the idea for? Is there a need on the market? Is there a market even? And what's that experience of your customer with that product or service you create? Of course, the technology is a huge part of um, the definition here of your idea. But not all products and services have to be connected to technology. Usually, technology is something that enables you to do more or to reach more people. This is where it really becomes interesting now, of course, in terms of um, shaping that idea, hammering it together so it becomes tangible. And again, here I have bad news. 80% of new products fail. Now, I'm not talking about new organizations, startups, or you as the first idea owner, you have never tried something before. Um, you are a novice basically at the start. No, 80% of all new products fail. Your company can already be, hundreds of years old. Every product development is something where you don't know if it's going to work out or not. Here we have a visualization about that. I mean, you start with the idea, You generate the idea and you start screening and filtering it, and it goes into the next steps of business analysis and development until you decide to test them and then actually commercialize it. But you can see that most of the ideas actually die in that very first part. Um, and if you want to look at this in terms of numbers, you actually need 3,000 raw ideas to come to, to filter down to one successful product. And this graph actually shows you that a lot of the ideas even make it, all the way down in this funnel, which means that you are spending a lot of time, and with time comes a lot of resources and money that you spend, even though you are still failing in 80% of the cases. So here now we are first, having the first point here to touch the connection to a hackathon. In a hackathon, you have only a very short amount of time. So on top of these 80% of new products that are failing, you are now having a context and an environment where you are already in a high-speed mode, meaning that you have to deal with lots of ups and downs, because in that first stage, you are setting basically the parameters. You have to try out a lot of things, and you have a lot of expectations and dreams that come with building this idea up, meaning that it is will lead to emotions that you experience during a hack. You will maybe exhausted because you're working 24 hours in a row. You don't sleep because you care so much that you are being able to present something really valuable at the end of this sprint. A hackathon is actually a sprint. um, for anybody who doesn't know the word hackathon, who has never been, it's actually a composition between the word hacking, which means programming, and the word marathon. um, Marathon we can all relate to, right? It's a um, long time slot that you do something for a very, very long time until exhaustion. And that's how the word came together. But I would actually say by its nature, it's more like a sprint. It's like something under high pressure, with a lot of power on the start, ramping up. So this is what you're up to. If you're becoming part of the teams that I will be starting at the Climaton and the Basel hack a little later in this year. So for me, it's actually a balancing act. That's where you have to start when you set your mind on participating in something like a hackathon. It's about the footprint that you want to create, but it's about that direction. Where are you going? And who is coming with you? Where do you want to go together? And then only if you have aligned on that, very first basis, then you can talk about how to get there. And I am, working through something that's called the MMVP when I work with teams. Many of you, if you're coming out of that entrepreneurial part, uh, or are a startup, then you know the word MVP, and it actually stands for minimum viable product, which means it's your prototype. It's something that allows you to showcase investors or other people that you're trying to win on board, how your product or service works. But I have redefined this acronym and added another M. So this MVP stands for message, mission, vision, and purpose. Meaning, what is the message that you can use to talk about that idea you have to other people? The mission and the vision, where you want to go, and the purpose, of course, why you want to go there. This is what you will need to communicate about your idea to other people. to different stakeholders, to different kind of people interested um, to support you in that journey that you are starting when you start to work on your idea. Now, here's the questions you can't escape. No, we are already reaching the questions, of course, uh, that come up the most. And this one, I really love this question actually because it's opening a Pandora box. Is it always necessary to go as cheap as possible? And that's a straight no for me here. We are, more and more and more, and actually we are in a world where more and cheaper and faster is actually not getting us anywhere. And if you take this question and apply it to your product and to that market that you are trying to connect to, it's definitely not going to be that you have to produce something in a cheaper way that will make you successful. Of course, we'll have much more time in our, intensive and deep dive into the stock idea. Another question that keeps coming up, is it the right time for your idea? Or will you continue to work on this idea, more and more and to improve it again? This is a question actually that always comes up when I work with engineers. Engineers are programmed to be machines that keep on making a technology or a technical product better and better. But that's not really the destination I think you are supposed to go to. I'm coming back to the topic of our session today and the word co-creation. I'm really wanting to encourage you to co-create with that market, those customers that are out there that you are providing a benefit to. And then this question somehow dissolves. It's, asking something that is not of such a relevance in that context anymore. It becomes a joint venture that you're entering into, and it's a journey rather than looking at this from a viewpoint of a specific point in time. I brought you one more question, which is the overall question in general. Where do I even start? I have my idea, but where do I start? This is, of course, the most overwhelming question at all. And that's why I have decided to share my experience of so many years of working together with idea owners. I can promise you that when you go through these stops and find the connection points between them, that you will be able to map out your journey, your pathway to make your idea a reality. And now I've come to the point here again to call upon you to write down your questions and the doubts or thoughts you had in context to your idea, to that baby that you're carrying within you that wants to come out. Take the time and write them down. Thank you for listening.